friends, it's Coach Rachel from PedalPower Kids. First, let me say how much I miss riding with all of you guys, but I am so excited to see all the videos that your moms and dads are posting of all the fun rides that you're taking as a family. So I hope everybody is staying healthy, getting outside and getting lots of exercise, and we will ride together soon. So I thought I would talk to you guys today in this video a little bit about a bike with gears, what that means, and how we shift gears, and how we can use that to make pedaling and riding easier and more fun. I want to talk about some of the terms, some of the parts of your bike that you need to know about when it comes to shifting. And I have the Woom 5 bike here. I know a lot of my friends out there are riding Woom bikes, so some of the things that we're going to talk about are a little bit specific to the Woom and the type of shifter that it has, but you can follow along with any bike at home. So starting out, when we talk about gears or we talk about speeds, we're talking about this rear chain ring and these sprockets that are on it, okay? This is an 8-speed bike. So if you count, you can count 8 of these little chain rings, these little sprockets, okay? The what we call the hardest gear, 8, is actually this smallest chain ring, and 1, the easiest gear, is the largest chain ring. Right here we have what we call the derailleur. Okay, the derailleur is it does exactly what it sounds like. It's derailleur is a fancy French word, but it essentially derails the chain from the sprocket that it's on and moves it to another sprocket. Okay, so the derailleur is worked by a cable. You can see this cable coming up here, all right, coming all the way up the bike, all the way to here. And we see right here is our shifter. This Woom 5 has a grip shifter, and here is the numbers that tell us what gear we are on. Do not shift unless you are pedaling. So that's really important. We talked about this derailleur, and that the derailleur, that the shifter, when you shift, it shortens the cable or loosens the slack on the cable, which moves this derailleur. The derailleur is then trying to pick up this chain and move it from one sprocket to another. But your pedals are part of what makes that whole thing work. So if you're not pedaling, the derailleur is trying to do its job, but it's not able to complete the task. What high and low mean. So high, hard, okay? Think of that H sound. High, your highest gear on this bike is 8. Your lowest gear is 1. Like I said, somewhere in the middle is most of the time where we're gonna wanna be riding around. We need our high gears, our hard gears, for going down hills, for once we've picked up speed and we wanna go faster and more efficiently. Many of you guys that were riding a smaller bike before, like a Woom 3, you might remember that sometimes you pedaled so fast that your feet fell off the pedals. Okay, so you were spinning out. That's where having a bike that has harder gears would allow you to shift into that harder gear, and then your feet are going to be able to keep up with or your pedals are going to be able to keep up with your feet. Okay, so we use harder gears for picking up speed. We use lower gears for getting up hills. We also like to use lower gears to get started. So I'm here with my trusty assistant, Rory. Rory, how are you doing today? Good. Good. Okay. A lot of kids are a little bit intimidated about shifting because it's a little bit like walking and chewing gum. You got to do 2 things at once. You got to pedal and you got to shift. Looking down at the numbers can be really distracting. So one way that I recommend getting started with your child is to let them practice shifting when you're not even riding the bike. Okay. You heard me say earlier, don't shift unless you're pedaling. So how can you do this? What you can do is you can pick up the back of the bike and turn the pedals for your child while they stand alongside the bike, not on it, but just alongside the bike. Here, put your other hand here. No, come back. Come on back. Or here you go. Other hand here, just like she's riding. And you are going to twist the bike. Which way do you twist to shift to a harder gear, Rory?
Back.
Away from you. And you twist towards you for an easier gear. So I'm gonna start turning the pedals, and Rory's gonna practice shifting all the way to the hardest gear, one at a time. We wanna hear the bike shifting. Where are you now, Rory?
7.
Good, where are you now?
8.
8 is the hard. We are now going to really want to have kids experience what it feels like to be in different gears. So we've got a nice cul-de-sac out here that we're going to practice on. Rory's down at 1, so 1 is your hardest or your easiest gear? Easiest. So Rory's going to ride a couple of laps in each gear, and just shifting to feel what the difference feels like. You're going to try to keep your cadence pretty consistent. What does that mean?
To keep the pedaling the same.
Yeah, how fast you're turning the pedals. So you're going to see that might be pretty tricky when you get to those hardest gears, but we'll probably see if you kept your cadence the same, what would happen when you were in a harder gear. Did the bike move faster or slower? Faster, yeah. Nice job. So Rory's going to keep going, shift into a harder and harder gear. On her next time around, I'm going to show you, if you're having a child who's saying, I can't do this, I can't shift, you can run with them and shift for them. So I'm going to show you how I would do this with one of my students. Okay, so I'm running with her. All right, Rory, we're going to shift to a harder gear. All right, Rory, we're going to shift to one gear even harder than that. Right, so that's how you would run with your student and shift with your child and shift for them. So Rory, what are you in now? You're in the hardest gear?
Yeah.
Awesome. See how her legs have slowed down a little bit, but those pedals are still turning pretty fast. Okay, we're back. So Coach Rachel and Rory are now going to ride up the street together. We're going to practice our shifting. Maybe we'll even make a game of it. You going to ride in your hardest gear?
No, I'm going to ride in probably, actually.
Probably. All right, she's going to ride in her hardest gear. I'm going to ride in my easiest. Let's see how this goes. Guys, so here I am in my easiest gear, and this is not going so well. I am really spinning out my pedals. Whew. So that sounds like that I chose a gear that was too easy for the type of terrain that I'm on. So if you find yourself in this situation, then you need to choose a harder gear. And guess what? Rory is way ahead of me in her hardest gear, but she's already standing up, really grinding it out. So she could probably be in a little bit of a lower gear than she is. Okay guys, I'm back in action. I'm in a much better gear for where I am. You can see my feet are turning fast, but comfortably fast. As the hill gets a little bit steeper, I may need to shift to an easier gear. And I'm gaining speed on Rory, who's grinding it out, standing up on her pedals. So I'm gonna really need to pick up the pace if I'm gonna beat her to the top of the hill. I'll see you guys up there. Thanks for tuning in. Now we get to go down, which means we're going into our hardest gear, and we are flying down. I know I'm not gonna catch Rory on the way down. All right, see you down there. Well, we really have been missing doing our end of class or end of bike club cheer. So Rory and I decided to do our own version today. Maybe you guys can do it too, and post us your best Corona cheers as well. Okay, so ready? We've got 2 verses today. 1, 2, 3. Bikes are cool, gears are fun. We worked hard and now we're done. Okay, verse 2. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Staying home is cool. Riding bikes is fun. Not being with friends is hard. Soon this will be done.